Hello, hello, hello. Um, I'm seeing people start to kind of stream in. We had a decent number of signups for this session today. Thanks for joining. My name's Jim. I'm the founder here at Brokerkit. I'll be leading that. And we have Stacy Alcorn also on the call, who's one of our customers and a real guru around recruiting real estate agents. And she's going to be walking through her presentation today. So maybe as you're joining, maybe just if you could, everybody in the chat, just drop in what city you're coming from. We're just going to give it a couple minutes for people to join because we still have people coming in, but maybe just let me know what city you're coming in from. So we got Gary from Fairfax, Key from Atlanta, or Kai, sorry if I said that wrong. Pat from Wallingford, David from Cherry Hill, Michael from Orlando. Oh, I got Key, I got it right. Betsy from Wallingford. Cade, hey Cade, good to hear from you. From Lakeville, Minnesota. We've got Jennifer in Denver, Jason from Heaven. Wow, okay. Or Haven, sorry.
He's one of my recruiters. We got a few of my people on watching
Okay.
today.
I was gonna say, wow, you're living in heaven? Nice. Haven. Okay. Thanks for joining. For the people joining that have just joined, we've still got people kind of streaming in. We had a decent number of signups today. Just let us know where you're coming in from today in the chat. So we've got Crystal from Seattle. We'll just give it, give it 2 minutes and then get started since we've still got people coming in. Okay. I think we're at, oh, we got Mona down in Jacksonville. Hey, Mona. Sienna from Holland. Holland. So is that a city or the country? I'm guessing it's probably not the Netherlands. So Michigan, there you go. The Netherlands is great though, if you've ever been. It's lovely to visit. So really cool. Um, okay, so I will turn it over to Stacy to kick it off. Thanks so much.
All right, good stuff. So, thank you for joining us for the Brokerage Blueprint program. So, I've been using Brokerkit now for well over a year. I should be saying I've been paying for it for a couple of years, but finally got to dig in and use the program. And now it has become part of the lifeblood of my business. So, with that, I get to talk to Jim once a month or so. We check in and we had a great conversation about what it takes to build a brokerage. And so this program was born out of that. This is part of a 12-part series, and we're going to deep dive into everything it takes to build and run a great real estate brokerage, but it's a lot of content. So we broke it down into 12 programs or 12 classes that we're going to deliver over the next 12 months. And today's kind of like the starter, the basics. And then we're going to build off of many of the concepts that we're going to cover today. So, I always like to start and explain a little bit. Today's program is 10 biggest mistakes to building a successful brokerage. And really, it's about talking about why do sometimes brokerages stall and why do some brokerages just get out there and scale. Most of you guys know who Jim is. Many of you are already using Brokerkit for the back end of your recruiting and retention business. A little bit on my story. I've been a broker now for 25 years. I bought a small brokerage in 2000 with 7 real estate agents. And when I bought it, it was a franchise. So for the first 14 years of my business, I was building it under a franchise. And then 11 years ago, got my agents together. At that time, I had 200 or so real estate agents with my franchise offices. and said, okay, we're going to we're going to build our own independent real estate company. The name of the brokerage is Laer, Laer, Local Agents, Extraordinary Results. Started the company 11 years ago. Today, we have almost 800 real estate agents as an independent brokerage with offices in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut. Feel like I'm definitely Florida. I might be missing one there, but we are basically based out of New England and Florida. And so, one of the areas that I've kind of built over the last, I'd say 5 years or so, is just really strong recruiting systems. And in the email, if you were on my email list that went out to some of the broker owners I know, it basically said, no matter where you are in your business, I've experienced it. I've experienced having large groups leave, like teams leave. I've had huge wins in my business. Literally every step of building a brokerage, I have been there. So this whole program is just to share with you some of the secrets to building a brokerage that keeps on snowballing over time. Um, in the chat, if you don't mind, let us know what your goals are for recruiting real estate agents. How many agents would you like to add to your business over the next 12 months? We'd love to hear it. So I like to start each program with just a quick quote. The quote today is, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems, by James Clear, because that is a big topic that you are going to hear about through the next 12 months if you join us for each of these classes. That in order to scale, no matter what you want to scale, maybe you're saying, hey, I don't want 800 real estate agents. I'd be happy with 30 real estate agents or 60 real estate agents. No matter what, you need some really good systems in order to scale it. So, whoops, we're going backwards. Okay. So the truth about brokerage growth. Brokerages don't stagnate from lack of effort. So important to state that, because sometimes I see brokerages that do stall or stagnate, and sometimes people that just give up and they're putting their heart and soul into building their business. And it's not that they're not working hard enough. Great broker owners, great managers. It's like they're putting in everything, but the stagnation comes from the structural mistakes within the business, not having the systems to allow for scale. And sometimes it's emotional decision making, and sometimes it's just short-term focus, like thinking about things that you can do right now to get 3 agents now, instead of looking at a longer term, like what system can you create so that every month agents are reaching out to you to join the brokerage. So um, brokerage growth is not luck. It is truly something that must be engineered, systemized, and emotionally disciplined. Can't stress that enough. I'm sure every single person on this call has gone to bed crying at least once because the recruit that you've been working on for several months decides to join another brokerage, or the person that joined your company and you put your heart and soul into helping them grow a great business ends up leaving to another brokerage. The hardest part of our business as managers or brokers or team leaders, the hardest part of our business is that everybody is recruiting. So whether your agent is brand new or has been in the business for a long time, like immediately they're getting recruited by other companies. So that means you have to be on top of your game running your day-to-day brokerage. But at the same time, you also have to be creating systems so new agents are always coming in. So today we're going to cover the 10 biggest mistakes that quietly limit brokerage growth and how to correct those. So this is the basics. These are like the 10 things you got to do in order to get ready to grow. And in the next 11 episodes of Brokerage Blueprint, we're going to delve deep into each and every one of these. So the number one mistake many brokerages make is having recruiting tactics instead of like a long-term strategy. If this sounds like you, don't feel bad. This was me too. This was me like for many years saying, okay, this month's tactic is I'm going to do events. I'm going to invite people to cocktail hours so that I could tell them about the brokerage, or creating a one-off email campaign to try to get people to call. So one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my 25 years is just not having a long-term strategy for recruiting. So what does a one-off tactic look like? It looks like random calls or reactionary recruiting. This was me too at times in my career. In other words, a brokerage comes in and takes one of your good agents. So you're like, okay, I'm calling the whole office. I'm going to go get one of their agents now. Can't have that. That is just a tactic. Having no long-term campaign or sending one-off emails, like spraying the market, saying, okay, I sent out an email to 3,000 people in the market and I got no result. Nope, there has to be a campaign. Like a one-off is never going to work. Or constantly selling what you have to offer instead of articulating your value. We'll talk about the difference a little bit further in this program. So a tactic is like one-off conversations, sporadic emails. You run into somebody, let me know if you ever want to move. A strategy, this is why I love Brokerkit, because right now I have 10,000 people in my Brokerkit system that are receiving emails and text messages, and they are hearing from me. So when I show up, I run into a real estate agent at an event, for example, it's not a one-off, let me know if you ever want to move. It's like, let me know if you ever want to move. And they know exactly who I am, and I know who they are because there's been a long-term conversation powered by Brokerkit. So long-term campaigns have consistent messaging. It is education, not regurgitating. Soon as you start regurgitating, because I'll tell you, there are brands out there that I don't even like talking to anybody in the company because they're going to start regurgitating why I should be part of their brand. Nobody wants to hear it. Instead, just start showing the world, start giving what you have to offer to the brokerages and the agents in your market. Truly, great recruiting is about changing the hearts and minds of the agent marketplace. It's not a one-off like conversation here or there. It is a long-term campaign to change the hearts and minds of the people in your marketplace. Recruiting is psychological positioning. So you should not always be recruiting for today. You are recruiting for when the person is ready. It is my belief from now doing this for 25 years that no matter how wonderful your brokerage is, you have every tool, every training, every technology, 99% of the agent marketplace is shut off from your messaging. They don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it because they are not in a position that they want to move. It is my position that most agents move because they get ticked off about something at their current company. So your campaigning should not be about why somebody should join today. Your campaigning should be educating people, letting the agent marketplace get to know you and get to know your brand, and inviting people in to learn about you so that you're changing their hearts and minds along the way. Because honestly, if you can change the heart of a real estate agent, like, hey, I kind of like this person. Like this person has a personality. This person's always sharing information that helps me do well in my business. If you change their hearts, you will change their minds eventually. Agents don't wake up and switch offices. They don't receive a one-off email from you. or a one-off text message and say, oh, that's great. My company doesn't have that. I'm joining this one today. No, it is a long-term transition emotionally before they transition physically. So you got to be campaigning over time. This is why I love Brokerkit. Um, so you have to truly out consistency everyone. So this means that in a marketplace, and I will tell you in my marketplace, I have some brokerages that they are very loud. You look everywhere, they're constantly doing tons of video and stuff like that. They are louder. You don't need to be louder. You need to be steadier. It is my opinion, and I could prove this with my own brokerage here, that consistency beats charisma. There are brokers in my marketplace who have these huge personalities, very charismatic. And so for me, that's not my personality. I am not, I don't want to be the big personality in my marketplace. So the way I compete is I will be way more consistent. When you get tired, I'm still out there sending my messages, sending my emails, my text messages, and that's how I utilize Brokerkit to do that for me. So when building your brokerage, you have to think campaign thinking. So you can't think about one-offs. You got to think about what are your quarterly messaging, your monthly messaging, how are you going to stay visible in the marketplace each week, and then having like daily micro actions to always be growing that. So it is my contention that the long game wins. If your strategy is 12 months long or 2 years long or 3 years long, and the competitors game is a 30-day race, maybe they win a few people in the marketplace really fast, but then they have to go work on that. Now they have to go work on those people that just joined. But if you have like just a consistent ongoing strategy, I promise you, over time, you win. Number two mistake. One of the biggest mistakes I see some brokerages make in any marketplace is building your business on having the best commission split. In my opinion, that is a race to the bottom. If your only value is what you charge, that you charge less than everybody else, and that's why people should come to you, I promise you somebody else is going to come along and charge just a little bit less. And now you've just lost everybody, because that has to be like the last thing. Pricing should be fair, but you can't be the cheapest. That can't be what you lead with. Furthermore, most agents are not paying that close of attention, because I see it. Companies open up all around my brokerage that are by far less expensive for the agent to work there. They don't get tons of people saying, oh, I could save $2,000. I'm going to go over here. No, that is not truly a value proposition to a good real estate agent. Now, your commission should be fair, but in reality, agents are not moving brokerages for better splits. In general, that is not happening. Agents move because they see themselves belonging. So it's their identity. They feel like they belong at a different company. They will belong differently than they belong in their current company. They're seeking leadership, somebody they can go to and ask questions. Vision, belonging. They're looking for companies that are growing or not stagnating. These are the real reasons why people are moving companies. They'll justify their move over the money, because that's easy to say to their manager who they love. Maybe they love their manager. They don't have a beef with their manager at all. They just want to be somewhere else where a growing company or a company that has leadership or identity. And so they have to think of something to say to their manager as to why they're leaving. And an easy one is money, because that's hard to overcome that objection for the person that they're telling they're leaving. But it is my belief that most agents aren't actually leaving because they can get a better deal somewhere else. There are 1,000 very low cost brokerages that people can go to. If an agent really only cares about the money, then they should go somewhere else, to a brokerage that offers very little for, but takes very little of the commission. So, a commission split is a commodity. Culture is not, systems are not, leadership is not. Those are the things that attract great real estate agent. And like I said, money is just used as an excuse. It's so easy to go to a manager and say, I could just make more money there. So it's an easy out. It's an easy way to get out of their current brokerage. But really, what they're telling their manager when they say that is, I feel unseen here. I feel unacknowledged. I feel stuck, or I just don't see growth here. That's what they're really saying when they're saying, I can make more money there, or I get a better split there. So build value, not discounts. The strongest brokerages attract through opportunity. There's a better opportunity, not through rebates. Number three mistake, in my opinion, and I know this because I did this for many, many years. In other words, the way I recruited was I would reach out and say, could we get together to have a coffee? And I didn't have a presentation. It was just a one-on-one. Let's grab a coffee and talk about your business, and I'll tell you about my business. And the hidden problem with something like that is that agents don't know what they don't know. So, for example, nobody teaches people how to shop for a brokerage. So, we have to teach people how to shop for a brokerage, and that's why we want to have a conversation with people, where we actually present to them what they should be shopping for. Now, if you've been in the brokerage business for a while, like I have, we know what the agent should be looking for. Like, you should be looking for a company that can educate you, coach you, all different things, whatever your value proposition is. But agents have no idea. Once you have your list, by the way, go record a video on it. I created just a webinar class and presented this. It's now on YouTube, and it has hundreds and hundreds of agents watch this video on how to select the right real estate brokerage. And it's just a class on what to look for if you're shopping for a brokerage. Anytime I sit with a recruit, I make sure I have a presentation. So I have a booklet that's called Our Guide to Programs and Services, and I go through the guide with them. Because, like I said, the agents don't know what they don't know, especially if they're newer in the business. They have no idea what they should be asking about. So just going and having a coffee saying, oh, what are you looking for in a brokerage? That's one thing. I think all of that can come out through a great presentation where you can have conversation through it, but you want to make sure you're hitting on every point that they should be looking for in a brokerage. So, have a great presentation. And it's also my belief that if you have objections at the end of a recruiting appointment, if you keep hearing the same objection about something, then you just have to go back and rewrite or add a page to your presentation. Because the point of a presentation is to eliminate objections before they arise. So having a really good presentation is a checklist for consistent recruiting. It doesn't look like a checklist. You don't say, okay, check. I've talked about my recruiting. I've talked about my coaching. I've talked about my training. I've talked about administrative support. But that's really what it is. It's a presentation that looks pretty, but built into that is your checklist of all the important things you need to be talking about. Next, number 4 mistake many brokerages make is it's really difficult to delegate 100% of your recruiting. That's really difficult. So if you're a broker owner, you own your business and you say, okay, I want to get to 100 agents or 200 agents, I'm going to go hire somebody to do that. My worst years for recruiting were years that I took my eye off the ball and said, okay, you go do this. This is your job. As a manager or a broker owner or a team lead, this is one of the most important pieces of your job is recruiting. So even if you have people that assist, you got to stay involved in it as well. I feel like no one cares as much as you. And I have the best team in the world. But at the end of the day, everything is on me. So if the presentation could be better, the only way I'm going to know that is to be super involved with the team that I have recruiting. So I need to know and meet with them regularly so they can say, hey, this piece is not working, or we can determine together how do we convert better. It is your job as the broker owner of an office to care the most. You set the bar for caring. It sends a message to the entire brokerage when you are part of every or part of a group that is doing the recruiting in the company. So your involvement in recruiting signals the importance of it. So I feel that if you are really focused on growing your office, which I'd say all of you are because you're on this call, then why would you 100% delegate it? You can't 100% delegate recruiting. You can delegate little pieces of it, but you can't 100% delegate all recruiting to somebody else. Number 5 mistake that brokerages make, in my opinion, is bad mouthing the competition. So you can never have anything bad to say about the competitor because that energy attracts more of that. You are the energy that you attract. So negativity transfers and your reputation over time compounds. So you just can't say anything bad. I don't care what atrocities somebody else has done. You have to let it go. It is not your problem. That you can't focus on that. All you can focus on is the value that you have as a brokerage and keep putting that out there. What you put out is what you will bring about. So if you put out negativity or bad mouthing or anything like that, then you are going to bring that about. If by the way, because I have brokerages in my market that do speak poorly of others, and they speak poorly of me, probably. And what I look at when they say something bad is it's a sign of insecurity. So, anybody, a real estate agent or anything. So, when you're recruiting people, I'm just going to get rid of this annoying pop up that keeps coming up. Okay, there we go. So when you're recruiting people, you cannot say bad things, even about the company that they are currently at, even if you know they're terrible to people or anything like that. Not your problem. You're selling your value and what you bring to the table, and all the goodness that you offer as a brokerage will shine through, I promise, without you saying one negative thing about what the guy down the street is doing. So your success has nothing to do with them. Focus on your values, not their flaws. Strength is quiet. Strength is silence. And your reputation is louder than words. So just go about doing your business. You be the tortoise, going slowly and just staying focused on what you're good at. Don't worry about what other brokerages are doing. Just keep being great. Next mistake is one message for everyone. So when it comes to recruiting, one of the things I love about Brokerkit is that you could change up the messaging. By the way, they're taking it 10 steps even better than where they are now with a lot of the AI stuff. And by the way, you guys, I don't get paid to do this. I'm not on the payroll of Brokerkit. I pay what everybody that is, I'm on whatever highest plan they have. And I didn't start that way. I started on the very lowest plan. And then when I started digging into Brokerkit over time, I kept calling them and say, okay, I need to add more staff members. I need to put more people in. And now I've got everything from recruiting is on there. Entire onboarding system is on Brokerkit. We have affiliated partners, mortgage title stuff, and that is on Brokerkit. So over time now, whatever their biggest plan is, I am on it because I kept slowly adding to what we have. But one of the things I like about Brokerkit is that you can change up your messaging a little bit so that it's not just the same message to every single person. Because if you think about it, if when people receive your messaging, if it doesn't apply to them, we're training people. We're training people to keep opening our emails. We're training people to read our text message. And if every time you reach out, you're sending the same exact message to a high producer as you would to a low producer, if the message does not resonate, then you have just, like Pavlov, you've just trained them not to look at your next email because you're not speaking to their heart, to their soul. So now they're trained not to read the next one. What's cool about Brokerkit, you could change up the messaging depending on who you're recruiting. Lower producers need structure, they need training, they need confidence. The higher producers, we know they want to be able to leverage their time. They want autonomy, they want to be able to expand. As well. If you're speaking to team leaders, or maybe you're recruiting like me, broker owners, they need profitability, retention, systems. So everybody you're speaking to within your campaigns should have a slight tweak on the messaging. Um, if you have one message for everyone, it can almost signal that it's artificial intelligence, that it's like this person has like a bot sending me emails and text messages. So I am super cognizant of every message that is going out because I don't want to train the reader to, hey, tune this out because this isn't Stacy actually reaching out to me. This is some sort of bot that she has. So one of the things, and this is why I love meeting with the recruiters, my recruiting team. By the way, I recruit every single day. So I now have 800 real estate agents roughly. I recruit every single day. I am on Brokerkit. It is the one platform I am in every single day. I also meet with my recruiting team every single Thursday morning. We do a call so that I can hear. And Jason, who's one of my recruiters on the call today, said last week, one of the messages that he put somebody into one of the campaigns for Brokerkit said to the person receiving it, it was a text that said, congratulations on your success. And the agent responded back, what success? I haven't closed anything in 2 years. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's why you have to be super cognizant of the messaging you're sending out because we want to train people to keep reading it. So we have to, as our recruiting team does, we're constantly refining the messages and constantly refining the labels that we give to people within the Brokerkit system so that the messaging can be on point. Number 7 mistake, building the perfect system before using it. This is what I can't stress enough. If you're using a system such as Brokerkit, it's an investment of time. For sure, you got to spend time on it each week, force yourself, start with a half an hour a day if you're not using it, and then go to an hour a day, but you got to constantly be tweaking it. This is what I say. Don't build the perfect system first. get out there. This is why I say I paid for Brokerkit for a year before I actually started going in and using it. And now it's like the lifeblood of my business. Um, go in and start using it. Put in one recruit, build out one little campaign. I have one campaign that I wanted to create an email campaign of my value proposition, but I want to drip it over 6 months. So I created a campaign and I said, okay, let's do every Saturday. I want anybody in this campaign for the next 4 weeks. I wanted it to be 6 months, but I said, let's start with 4 weeks. So I created 4 emails that went out. And then by the time I got to the fourth week, I had already added a fifth email. And I kept doing that. And that campaign is now a 12-month campaign. So when we reach out to an agent, they are now on a campaign that they hear from us weekly for 12 months. Now, the point of this is don't go out right now and say, I'm going to spend the next 3 months putting together my 12-month campaign. It's not necessary. You can do this in stages. Get the system working for you. Get into a habit of putting people every day into it. Start with mini campaigns, but build off those campaigns. So in 6 months from now, you're like, holy cow, it takes me 10 seconds to put an agent into the system. And now they're going to hear from me for the next 12 months. So many of my people have been in the system now, some of them for a month, some of them for 6 months. And I haven't had a full year because before I get to the 1 year, I'm going to add to that campaign again. So that eventually that 1 year campaign is going to be a 2 year campaign. That's why I say I'm the tortoise. So the other person down the street who owns a brokerage can have a huge personality, TV commercials, billboards everywhere. Have at it. I'm in front of every single real estate agent in the marketplaces where I do business every single week right now for a year, but then it's going to be 2 years, for 3 years. That's what I mean by a strategy and not a tactic, like not sending out one email to people and hoping that somebody calls. No, I'm in front of them every single week and every day. The first thing I do every single day before I check email, before I have my coffee, I'm adding 30 people to Brokerkit. By the way, when I started this, I had my agents in my company were doing a CMA a day challenge, and I said instead of doing a CMA a day, I'm going to add one agent to Brokerkit a day and send them an offer letter. And so it started with one a day, that just adding one person a day into Brokerkit. Now it's like easily 30 people a day. Some days if I don't have appointments in the morning, I have 50 people a day. That's how simple it becomes. And then I keep going in and tweaking my campaigns and adding to my campaigns so that it's building this massive infrastructure to be recruiting for me. So progress is more important than perfection. Don't try to build it first. Build it while you're using it. Your systems are going to improve through use, not planning out what you're going to be doing. How you make it better is by using it and having meetings with your staff. When your staff says, hey, I sent out a text that said, congratulations on your success. And the lady's like, I haven't sold anything. So what success are you talking about? Listening and saying, okay, I got to go change out my system. So 30 minutes a day, 180 hours per year. That's a pretty good recruiting habit. I'm so thankful for this because I've been doing this for 25 years. And it is incredible to me that in not even 1 year of fully using Brokerkit, I now have 10,000 real estate agents hearing from me weekly, emails and text message campaigns. That was not possible for a brokerage like me. Maybe the mega companies could do stuff like that. That was not possible with a little teeny independent brokerage. Not possible until I started using Brokerkit. What happens as you start using it, your momentum compounds. So recruiting is like fitness. Consistency matters more than intensity. Just keep adding people into the system. Number 8 mistake, underutilizing technology. I feel like the Brokerkit platform to me is like having 10 recruiters, at least 10 recruiters, because all day long, I mean, I don't even know that 10 recruiters could get in front of 10,000 people on a weekly basis, have more than that. Um, so I already said Brokerkit, it has become the heart of my business. And as a broker owner, I had to learn the tool. I had to own the system. I could not outsource it because I tried it. That's why I paid for it for 2 years and basically tried just saying to people, you go use it, you go figure it out and see if you can make it work. And then realizing that the only way it's going to work the way I want it to work is if I'm part of it. I have to be part of figuring out what campaigns are best and how often the campaign should go out. So, baby steps win, be the tortoise, add new people daily, build simple campaigns, but have it so that every day, literally while I'm sitting here, I can see my phone is pinging because Brokerkit is sending messages and people are responding to me all day long. And I'll get messages. I got one last Friday, an agent from Florida texted me and she said, "Thank you. I already booked an appointment. I look forward to meeting you." And that agent already has joined my company. And that is because of the campaigns. So make sure your list is always growing. I mentioned when I first started embracing the system, I had paid for Brokerkit for a long time before I actually embraced it. I've just focused on one recruit a day. And now it's become so easy for me. And it's the first thing I do each day is I'm logging into Brokerkit, adding a bunch of people. So today, my recruiting campaign is 1 year long. I plan to keep on adding to it. Today, I have 10,000 agents in the campaign. When I did this, I was adding 20 plus agents a day on average. I think it's around 30 at least. I can add in about 1 hour. You can add about 20 to 30 people into your campaigns per hour. By the way, I know through other partnerships like Realytics, they just kind of feed in, which is even faster than that. I have other recruiters recruiting. Some of them are on the call today in different marketplaces. I have like Betsy in Connecticut, Jason in Chelmsford, Farah in Florida. I have people helping. I run all my onboarding new agents through Brokerkit. I run my affiliated business marketing through Brokerkit, etc. It does not happen overnight. Learn the system along with your recruiter. So if you have recruiters in your company, be a part of it. And it was when I started doing it, it was not perfect. Today, it's still not perfect. Like I said, just last week, my recruiter Jason said, this lady texted me back and said I hadn't had a closing in 2 years, and I just said congratulations. So, of course, it's not perfect, but we are practicing out consistency in the market. There is no brokerage in my market that is as consistent as we are. Number 9 mistake, getting angry when agents leave. So, it's really hard to build a brokerage if you get super angry when somebody leaves. By the way, you can be angry, just keep it to yourself. When somebody leaves, stay steady. Keep doing your recruiting. Wish them well. Give them a hug. Say, I wish you the best. That's a wonderful company that you're going to. Because many, my team will tell you the number of agents that come back is insane because we're so good to them when they're here. We're so good to them when they leave. And I see other brokerages burn bridges as soon as somebody leaves. They're super rude to the person. You just have to realize that sometimes people leave your brokerage because it's a miscalculation. They're getting sold a bill of goods. Sometimes the bill of goods at the other company is really good, and sometimes it's not. Just be consistent. Keep doing your thing. The good ones will come back. To be a leader in this business calls for emotional regulation. Because one of the most important things we do as leaders or managers or broker owners is emotional regulation. Because the outside, the bigger your company gets, people remember how you handle disappointment. I lost two big teams last year. And guess what? I wished them luck. I was disappointed to hear them that they were leaving. I think that potentially it was not best for their business, but I can't say that. I just have to wish them luck. Nobody wants to hear when they're on leaving, it's not going to work out for you. It's not a good company. Did you know so and so came back? Got to keep it all to yourself. And instead of focusing on that, focus on all the people who do appreciate you, that are excited to be at your company, the ones that are coming in. Number 10, final mistake that we'll cover today is as you're building your recruiting campaigns, it's super important to double down on your retention campaigns. So, as hard as you recruit agents, you must uh, be retaining agents. Retention is recruiting. So it's easier to keep an agent that is already at your firm than to replace one that has left. So most of the stuff that I send out, the email campaigns and stuff like that, goes out to everybody. If I'm sending out an email, which I do every single week, talking about philosophy. I write a little mindfulness letter out to my agents once a week. That goes to every single real estate agent I am recruiting, tens of thousands of people. So anything, I look at it that everybody in the marketplace is an agent for my company. They just don't know it yet. So everything I send out internally goes externally, every event, training program, everything. Everybody's invited. You'll see we share our marketing with everybody. We treat everybody like they already work here because eventually they will. So the last part of this is it's important to always keep your own agents in the back of your mind because they're being recruited heavily. Every agent is being recruited all of the time. So you don't want to really just focus on recruiting new agents unless you have a system that you're also recruiting all of the agents who are already at your company. So my messaging goes out every week. I send out a Mindful Monday to not only my agents, but every agent in the marketplace. I do a weekly class that I teach called Quantum Sparks. I send it out to the agents in the marketplace, as well as my own agents. I do a monthly boot camp that I teach. It's a 3-hour class on how to use different tools in real estate. I send it to my agents as well as the marketplace. I invite every agent in the marketplace to my monthly sales meeting, all agent training open to agents at every brokerage. So, final quote today is success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformation. Your recruiting is not going to, everything's not going to change overnight. It is creating nice systems for growth over time. You want to be the tortoise. So that's all I have, Jim. I'm happy to open it up for questions as well.
Yeah, so there is a little Q&A box. There's also a little chat. Feel free to just drop in any questions anybody has or comments. Love to hear from you. I was a little quiet on this one, which I love because I'm used to being the one mainly talking on a lot of our webinars. Most of our webinars have been kind of, more product focused, but Stacy had some great content I thought that you guys could benefit from. Just know that this is a recurring series. We'll send out emails in the future on ones, but when you sign up in the Zoom forum, you can pick which ones to go to. We'll have more. I chose to kind of not focus on product stuff in this one. I might slip in some product updates. We have a lot of stuff that we've released recently and some great new stuff coming that will kind of slip on future ones. Also, if there's anybody who's not currently a Brokerkit customer that's on the webinar, if you sign up by the end of the month and mention you heard about us on the webinar, we'll waive your implementation and training fee. And love the chance to kind of work with you. Let's see. Other than that, so Tammy is asking to get on your email list. She put
Yep, I'll add her. Yes, I already wrote it down.
Okay. And I think you'll like her content, Tammy. Anybody else? Hit us up. Any questions or comments? Okay. Somebody's asking for your email. I don't know. Actually, where should we send them to if they want to hear more about
Uh,
Stacy?
so first of all, Jason wants your email, Jim.
Oh, okay.
So he wants Brokerkit. I know Jason. He's running great brokerage in New Hampshire. So probably interested in growing. And Jason, you totally need Brokerkit. It's a
Yeah.
game changer.
Yeah, so Jason, actually, I should probably say this. So, for the folks like Jason that are interested in kind of hearing more, just Google Brokerkit Go here and sign up for a demo there, and you'll be able to schedule a demo, and we can kind of walk you through that. And just say in the form, it says like there's a question where how'd you hear about us? Just say heard about it on the webinar, and we'll make sure we kind of waive your implementation and training free. So that's the best way to kind of reach out.
And Jason, if you want help getting that up, I'm happy to assist.
Yes, yeah. And you can just mail, well, just sales@brokerkit.com too is an email you can email too if you want to email also. And I see those as well as the sales team. We make sure you follow up. So if you want an email, do that. If you want to sign up for the demo, go to our website. Either way works. What else? Anybody else?
If anybody wants to be on my list, it's happyagent@lairrealty.com. And if you want to be added, I can add you to my list. Most of our hires come by way of referral. Is there a demo on how it works in the referral system? So I haven't used this too much yet, but I do know through Brokerkit that you can invite your agents so that they have a referral page, basically to make it so they can easily add people into the system. Correct, Jim?
Yeah, 100%. So I could give you a quick demo now if you want to see that key, if other people are interested, or we do have a tutorial video in our YouTube channel on that I can try to find real quick. But I'm happy to show how to use the referral system too. Let's see. So while I'm looking for that, Jason asked a question. Maybe can you look at that one, Stacy?
Yeah, so let's see. How do you think about building your recruiting team, picking the right people? Are they also agents? Yes to all of it. So many of my best recruiters are on the call.
You're using ChatGPT, and well,
Sorry.
I have Jason, Pat owned an independent real estate brokerage and joined my company this year. Betsy is in my Connecticut office and doing recruiting. They are all agents. So this is what I'll say. First of all, you have to be involved in it, but I like that they are also real estate agents because they are in the marketplace talking to real estate agents all the time. But specifically, what I love about our team now, specifically Betsy and Jason, are not afraid to pick up the phone and talk to people. So that's important. You want somebody that is willing to pick up the phone and make a phone call. And it depends what kind of recruits you're looking for. We're building out a platform right now because Pat from my Connecticut office is focusing on newer agents. So creating a system, which Brokerkit has all this too, so people can come right into the system and immediately get emails and text messages. And then also somebody else, I'm definitely going to do a class. One of the classes will be on the alternative ways I'm using Brokerkit. One of them is I use it for onboarding because I felt like we're onboarding a lot of agents right now. We onboard roughly 20 agents a month right now. And so I felt like little things were falling through the cracks. So now we have systems. I have 4 people on my onboarding team, and I've created it so email messages and text messages go out from them on every new person that joins. But I'll go into the details of that in one of our future classes.
Okay. Let's see if there's other questions. Key has a question on the referral thing.
Yes.
I can show you that and answer Key's question. Do we have any other questions anybody has before I dive into the demo? See if anybody has any quick ones that Stacy can knock out. Love your questions, by the way. So please do ask them. Shows that people are getting some value out of this. Okay, so I'll just launch in on the referral system here real quick. Okay, so I'm in Brokerkit. Okay, so when you're looking at your contacts, there's recruiting, retention. So think of like in recruiting, these are your prospects and leads. When they're here, they're just a contact. If you go to the retention side, it's your agents and staff. They're both a contact and a user. Okay. If you go over to manage team, you'll see everybody in retention is one of four roles: admin, staff, agent, or affiliate. Okay. So staff is an admin or the paid seats. This is where you have the full user interface. You can text, call, email, all that stuff. Staff just locks down what you can do. So there's also an agent role. Now they have an account also, a user account, but they don't know it unless you invite them, which you can do it one at a time or everybody at once, which I'll show you. I recommend you do this first with a couple of people and make sure it's working before you roll this out to everybody though, okay? So when you send them an invite, they can log in, okay? And they can also submit to their landing page without logging in, which I'll show you. So then if I switch to another account, I'm going to log in as an agent. When they log in, they just see a referral dashboard, okay? They can go in, submit a referral, and it's going to, and they'll only see who they've referred and notes you choose to share with them. They also have their landing page. Now, on their landing page will show their headshot and contact information. For that, they do need to add that in user settings, okay? When they submit a referral, if I go back to my account, let me log it back myself as an admin, then they will drop under your new leads as a new lead to follow up on, and you'll get an email notification, okay? And I think you had a question about kind of routing. It's like everybody, if you go to user settings, notifications, general, that new lead, that controls who gets the new lead notification. There's not currently a way to automatically assign them to different people. There is an actual idea for that in our idea form if that's important to you. I can give you that to go vote on. Also, anybody that would love to see something in Brokerkit, you can go out and suggest a feature in our product idea form. We love ideas, by the way, and we do pay attention to those, and we've been cranking those out. And if you want to see what we've done recently, if you go to changelog, which is also on our public website, you can see what we've implemented recently. We've been kind of cranking through some things, okay? One of which, by the way, if you haven't noticed it, is AI settings on your account settings and user settings to personalize your AI, the AI in the account. So check that out. That's pretty new. So Key, did that answer your question? Anybody else want to see anything in Brokerkit? So, okay, well, as a bonus, I'll just show you for the people that are still on with the AI that we just reached out, go to AI under account settings, set in here, all your settings, and then the AI will take that into account, like your differentiators, your commission structure. If you put your call to action in there, it can be to a calendar. Put your colors in here and your logo, and it can actually do HTML emails now, okay? And if you go to user settings AI, then it kind of lets you put things specific to yourself. And now with the AI that we just released, version 2, we're about to bump everybody's limits, by the way, because this takes a lot more. We haven't done that yet. We're going to try to do that within the next few days. So if you hit limits, just know we're about to raise these because the HTML emails use a lot of AI tokens. So you can go in here. We just added the ability to switch between models. It defaults to fast, which will be much faster than what we had before, okay? And then you can say, you can choose from email if you want to, but you can tell it whether you want an HTML or text-based email. So if I go in and click this, let me actually choose this one. I'm going to choose this one. I'm not going to tell it HTML or text, but I can tell it, and it'll do each. And it will generate an HTML on the fly with my logo, my branding, and my call to action, okay? So this is kind of brand new. This is version 2 of AI Assist, which we just released. And you should check that out. You can just go and insert that in. So maybe you have an event coming up, right? Just go in, write a quick HTML email, send it out. If I wanted to, I could have just said change to a text message. It removes the HTML, turns it into text. It can do it either way. Version 3, which is coming soon, will also pull in all the production data that they have and ingest that, and it'll know about that from Realytics and Corded and any other data source. So check that out. So any other questions, anybody? Okay, while I have you, since I still have people on, also, you might want to go check out, if you go to campaigns, automation campaigns, if you go into, there's now a campaign analytics tab, and you can go in and see the stats on campaigns, okay? All of this is loading right now. You can change the time frame, see the success. Right here, this step breakdown, we did a release that started collecting the data. We're going to make that visible within about a month, okay? And then you'll see basically step breakdown of every single email, text, everything, how many opens, clicks, meetings, everything on it. So check those out. Okay, anything else, anyone? Hit us up. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much for engaging, everyone, and for the questions. Love to see you on the future ones. And for Jason, I guess the one in New Hampshire, love to hear from you. Love the chance to kind of work with you. Email sales@getbrokerkit.com or go to the website and sign up for a demo. And that's all for now. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Thanks, everyone.